Light and its 96,000 dealers present Mr. Joseph Cotten in Blood Sacrifice, a suspense play produced and edited by William Spear.
Scene, his dressing room. Gary, his arm through mine, his great, beautiful voice purring assuringly in my ear.
It's wonderful, Johnny, wonderful. 200,000. Why, they didn't pay that for Gone with the Wind. You're a success, boy, a success.
A success. And well on the way toward being rich. On the marquee above the theater in lights, Garrick Drury in Bitter Laurel, and then in slightly smaller lights by John Scales. New clothes, best food, a fashionable hotel, new and fashionable acquaintance. And I owed it, every bit of it, to Garrick Drury. Everyone said that, everyone except Gary. We'd just finished seeing the men from the motion picture company. Gary had been charming, courteous, thoughtful, protecting my royalties, protecting his rights, and finally they were gone. Walters, Gary's valet, came into the room.
Anything else, Mr. Drury?
Not tonight. I'll pick you up in the car at the stage door in 5 minutes.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to see Mr. Scales to his taxi. Sure I can't drop you anywhere, John?
No, quite sure, thanks.
Glad to, you know. Oh, Walters.
Oh, yes, sir.
Bring along that play of young, what's his name, Ruggles, Buggles, you know who I mean. I promised Fanny Taylor I'd read it, but, well, it's perfectly useless, of course. We'll be playing Bitter Laurel for another 2 or 3 years yet. Eh, what, John? Well, come along. 5 minutes, Walters.
Yes, sir.
Now, look here, John. Don't you worry about this movie deal. I've handled these characters before. Before! Oh, listen to that, John. Wonderful sound. The empty theater. The empty, echoing, endless theater. John, you know what?
Sure. There's a play in it. In the last scene, the actor dies in the empty, endless theater, pouring out his death on 8 pages to the ghosts of all the audience who didn't realize how great he was.
Alone. His wife's gone to,
Hollywood.
Perfect. Well, what are we waiting for, Johnny? I'll put you in your taxi, you go home and write it, bring it to me tomorrow night. We'll fix it, and there we are.
I can read the notices now.
They're sensational, aren't they?
Garrick Drury does it again. Actor's death scene draws bravos.
Sir Garrick Drury, maybe. Well, come on, we'll get you on your way.
Good night, Mr. Drury. Thought your performance was exceedingly fine tonight.
Thank you. Good night, Scotty. Waters will be right out. You can lock up.
Good night, Mr. Drury, Mr. Scales.
Night, Scotty.
Well, bless us, it's raining. There's a cab stand right at the corner. We make a run for it. John, look out! John, are you all right?
I don't know. Knocked the breath out of me. My side is... How about you? You all right?
No.
Here, let me help you. Bye.
You are hurt.
No. Just jarred up a little. No broken bones. Gary. Oh, my Lord. I picked myself up from the curb where the car had thrown me when it hit us. My side hurt and my head reeled, but Gary... I saw him stagger out from the other side of the car, saw the jagged pane of broken glass in the store window, saw the bright spurts dyeing the pavement crimson where Gary's right hand clutched his left arm. A policeman came running toward us.
Yeah, what happened?
It's Mr. Drury, officer. The car skidded over the curb and knocked it through the window.
Here, let's have a look now.
Catch him, he's doing faint.
They've got him now. Oh, no wonder. He's got an artery. Hey, you, call an ambulance, get a doctor. This man will bleed to death if we're not quick. Are you all right, sir?
I hurt the side a little, all. I feel a bit faint, but I'll be all right.
Good. We've got to stop this bleeding here. Now, help me. You put your hand right here. That's right.
Yeah.
Now, squeeze hard.
Yeah.
And keep on squeezing. You over there. Come on, give us a hand. I'll take his head. You take his feet now. Easy does it. Up.
What happened? Mr.
It's
Drury!
been an accident. Walters, here. Come, give me a hand.
Hang on to the artery now.
I'm trying to now.
What is it, Mr. Scott?
Accident, Mr. Drury cut an artery. Here, there's a couch in Mr. Drury's dressing room officer right around this way.
What's the matter? What happened to the light? Turn up the light.
He fainted, Gary.
I see. All right. Here on the couch. Easy now. Down we go. Now, you, get an ambulance and a doctor.
All right.
My left arm, ain't you? You suppose I'll lose the use of it? Lord. Well, it's lucky it's the arm in the play, isn't it, John? I can always go on playing Keith. Always. the rest of my life.
My place. All the rest of his life.
Oh.
There was the blood. I began to be sick. The officer took his strong hand and gripped the artery in Gary's arm above my own shaking fingers.
Now, you look peaking. Lie down, Mr. Scales. Let me hold that. Now, you help rig up a tourniquet. Well, Walters, whatever your name is. Will someone try to get a doctor?
Just call for the doctor. There's no one on emergency. Everyone's out, and so are the ambulances.
Then call a private hospital. This man is bleeding to death.
Bleeding to death. This was the end, was it? No doctor on duty, and Garrick Drury bleeding to death. And then I came to. I'll find a doctor. But it was 40 minutes before the doctor finally came. 40 minutes while Garrick Drury's life seeped out from the improvised tourniquet. The doctor set down his bag and took one look.
We're still trying to get hold of an ambulance, Doctor.
Oh, never mind. We couldn't move him now anyway. There's only one thing to do. Give him a transfusion right here. Yes. Well, first we'll make a decent tourniquet. I'll test his blood for type. Oh, by the by, wait around, all of you. I have to find someone among you with type of blood that matches his.
Gary lay on a couch behind a screen in the dressing room. And there was a plate on the table, one with a border of pink roses from which during rehearsals we'd often eaten hasty sandwiches. Now there were 4 round blobs of red on it. Blood. 2 blobs of mine and 2 of Gary's valet, Walters. Behind the screen, Walters was blubbering with grief while an intern, arrived at last with the ambulance, was murmuring fearfully.
But, Doctor, I can't find his pulse.
You can't. What? Wait a minute. Here, you idiot. Let me see. Yes, of course. Here it is. But we must hurry or we'll be gone. Steady now, Walter. Steady. We know you love him. We're doing all we can. Now, go look at those tests. The important thing is to give transfusion as soon as possible.
Let me give it. I'll give my life for Mr. Drury. Let me give the transfusion.
No. We'll see. I've already told you Drury's blood is type 3. Very difficult. Can only give him a transfusion from someone of his own type or a type 4 universal donor. Anything else would be like giving him prussic acid. I only hope that you or Mr. Scales will do. We'll have to make sure. All right, now let me see.
The doctor bent over the plate, pouring liquid out of vials onto the red drops. I stood where I'd been standing when he put the blood onto the plate before the intern's voice had cried out.
Doctor, I can't find his pulse.
Walters and the doctor had plunged around the screen to where Gary lay unconscious. I watched while the doctor finished with the vial. Then he picked up a grease pencil from the dressing table and drew a line across the plate, cutting it in half. Then with the pencil, he marked the side on which I stood with an S, and the side on which Walters had stood with a W.
Now we'll be sure of which is which. It will take a few minutes to see if there's any agglutination. Oh, let's hope. That's all we can do is hope.
And he disappeared once again behind the screen. It was then that I noticed the one rose on the border of the plate which had been blurred in the firing. I'd noticed it before many times. I'd noticed it today in the last few minutes, looking stupidly at it, as you do at such things. But before the doctor had marked it, before he and Walters had gone running behind the screen, then hadn't the blood rose been on the left, my left? But now it was on the right. Might Walters, in passing, have brushed it and turned it around? I stood and stared at the tiny pool on the side marked W. Little hard purple crystals were beginning to form around the edges. I looked at the side of the plate marked S, my side, supposedly. The blood was clear and bright. But what if the plate had been turned around? And the blood on the other side was mine. It was mine that was forming little purple crystals. I stood staring at the plate as the doctor came around from behind the screen.
Now, let's have a look at this. Well, looks as though we're in luck.
Is it mine? May I give him the transfusion, sir?
Sorry, old man. Not unless you want to murder him.
Oh.
No, but Mr. Scales here, it looks as if he were that useful animal, a universal donor. All right, Mr. Scales, let's make ready.
What?
You're it, Mr. Scales.
There's something I ought... Well, I ought to mention that...
You're not frightened, are you? There's
not that.
no danger from giving a transfusion, you know.
No.
The donor, that is.
No, I'm not
Then
frightened.
come around here and let's get busy. We haven't much time.
Doctor,
Hello, John, old fellow. What's this? Final curtain?
Don't be silly.
Such a rotten exit. Dying, Egypt. Dying.
Oh, yes. Not dead yet, not by a long shot.
Now take off your coat, Pete, Mr. Scales, and roll up your sleeves.
Rotten eggs, eh? Rotten break for you, too, John. You'll have to close the play.
Close the play. Close the play.